In this video, we are going to introduce you to sketching in SOLIDWORKS. I first wanted to bring in a model that was already done and show you some properties in the design tree over here on the left-hand side. As I look through my properties, notice that every extrusion has a sketch related to it. Every cut also has a corresponding sketch. And as I work my way through here, one of the biggest mistakes students make is they try to do too much at once. This tire took a total of 10 different sketches. As I move my way back up through the design tree, you can see that I've just started with a single entity or a single sketch. My sketch was just one circle that I have extruded. And then I add detail to that circle. And then I continue to make cuts in that and extrusions, finally getting my final product here in my tire. Let's go ahead and start a brand new part file. So underneath File, I'm going to go New, and I'm going to double click on Part, and that will give me a brand new part file. I'm going to change my background to white so it's a little easier to follow. The first thing I like to do is set up a grid on my workspace. So I'm going to come up here to Options, and underneath Options I'm going to go to Document Properties, and underneath Properties I'm going to go to Grid and Snap and display the grid, and then click the OK button at the bottom. Now it doesn't look like it did anything, but what that does is it sets up a grid on my sketches. So when I'm in an active sketch, my grid will appear. We're going to talk about 4 states of sketches today. We're going to talk about underdefined sketches, overdefined sketches, fully defined sketches, and sketches that are not active. So let's get right into this. Here are my 3 primary planes on the left. So front plane, top plane, right plane. As we get into design intent, will be more clear as to which plane we're going to start with, but for now we're just going to start on the front plane. So I'm going to click on front plane, make sure it's highlighted. I like to make that plane normal 2. Now I know it will go normal 2 as I start my sketch, but I'm going to force it normal 2 just so that it is straight in front of me. I'm going to turn on my sketch toolbar. If I'm in the features toolbar, make sure we go to the sketch toolbar, and the first button activates the sketch. So as I click on that, I can see that my sketch is now active because I can see the grid pattern. From there, let's just take a rectangle command. I'm going to use a corner rectangle to start with. As I click on that, I'm going to start in the origin and just pull a box. Now in SOLIDWORKS, it doesn't matter the size of the box because we're going to come back and define the size of the box later. So I'm just going to put it in, doesn't matter where. As I hit escape and get out of the rectangle command, I can see that I have some black lines, I have some blue lines, and I have these little green icons around here. So let's see what some of those mean. Down at the bottom, it says that I am underdefined, and which means I do not have all of my dimensions on here yet for my rectangle. The green dots tell me that my rectangle is coincident, or that I have attached the corner to the origin. This one right here tells me that that line is horizontal, and this one up here tells me that that line is vertical. As I click on the corner up here, I can adjust this rectangle anywhere I want, except that my other corner always stays attached because I attached it to the origin. The blue means that those 2 lines are not defined yet. So what I need to do is put some dimensions on there to define this. So under the Smart Dimension button, I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to put a dimension on. So I just click on the line, and go up a little bit, click it in place, and let's go ahead and make this one 4 inches, and that will adjust that line to 4 inches. Notice that this line over here went black, which means I am constrained, or I have a relationship between here and here at 4 inches. So as I click on this, that line will still move vertically, but it will not move back and forth. So let's put a vertical dimension on here. So I'm going to go back to Smart Dimension, click on this line over here. Now I could click on the line. I could also click from line to line and click that in place. Let's just go ahead and make this one 2, and that will adjust my rectangle so it is 4 by 2. Now down at the bottom, I have gone from underdefined to fully defined, which means that is exactly where I want to be with my lines all black, and I'm ready to use the extrude button now. Let's put one more dimension on here just in case, and I'm going to take this one over here and put that in, and it says, are you sure you want to do this? Because you've already got one dimension on here. I'm going to click OK, and now down here I have an error message that this sketch is now overdefined. It wants me to delete one of these dimensions out because I don't need all of them. So let's just go ahead and take this out, but I wanted to show you what overdefined look like. If I come up here to the rebuild button, as I click on that, notice my sketch is now gray. Gray means that I am not in an active sketch. I also can see that by my grid not being visible. My sketch is over here, so if I want to activate that sketch again and get back into it, I'm going to come over and right click on it. The first button is called Edit Sketch. As I click on that, that will activate my sketch. My grid is back, my dimensions are back, and I'm fully defined. So as a review, we had, if I take my dimensions off, underdefined, if I see blue lines, is underdefined. If I dimension those, and I'll put the dimensions back in. If I see lines that are black, that means my lines are fully defined. If I put extra dimensions on and see yellow lines, let's try that one more time. If I see the yellow lines, that means I have too many dimensions on and it is overdefined. And our last state is if I rebuild this and my sketch is gray, means that it is not active. And to activate that sketch, I'm going to right click on sketch 1 and edit the sketch to get back into that sketch. Once I have my sketch fully defined, I can come to the Features toolbar and go to the Extrude Boss Base. In the Extrude Boss Base, I have the handle here I could pull. I would rather come over here to the dimension and actually put in a dimension. Notice that it stays yellow until I hit the 2 check marks. I have a check mark here and a check mark here. Either one will set that in place to go back to give me my solid. If I hold the wheel down, well, let's talk about zooming in and out. If I scroll the wheel back and forth, that's zooming in and out. Those of you that are familiar with AutoCAD will notice that it is reversed from AutoCAD, but you will be able to get used to that. If I hold the wheel down, that rotates my model. So hold the wheel down and move your mouse around will rotate the model. And that is our introduction to sketches.